But in the path towards presence through an elimination of desire, does this philosophy say, is the path to eliminating desire, knowledge of the self. Desire is the enemy of presence. Welcome back, y'all, to another reflection on DAT TDV. Recently, in a Venice Vedanta Club hang for our Philosophy Fridays that we do here in Venice, there was this conversation that came up around presence, being present. I touched on this in the last episode, the last reflection, said that we would talk about the anatomy. What that episode was around the anatomy of agitation. Where does agitation come from? And there's this unique relationship, this interesting relationship between selfishness, not just agitation, but selfishness and being present. Be present. We hear this, especially in the last 20 years. We've started to hear this in our modern society more and more, to where it's now not even cliche. It's beyond cliche. It's accepted wisdom that, well, we should all be present, be more present, become more present with our work, with our relationships. Ram Dass's favorite book, Be Here Now. Be here now. But you rarely find someone that will use that phrase, be here now, or I want to be more present, or I'm trying to be more present. You'll rarely find within the same individual an understanding of how to become more present. Usually, if you say, well, how do you become more present? You might get a refrain like, well, you just focus on it. You don't even try to oppose that. You just try to use that. You don't push back. You say, okay, let me try that out. I'm going to focus on being more present. And a couple weeks go by and you kind of throw the whole exercise to the side. You're like, being more present. That was like something I said for a few weeks. It's so hard. I'm not there. I don't know how to do it. It's kind of like, getting into pickleball for a few weeks. And then it's not everything it's cracked up to be. You find other things that are shinier, other principles, other aphorisms that maybe captivate you. But presence is what it's all about. To be fully here means to be full with here. To be fully here now is to be full. To feel paripurna, completely full with here. Not needing anything from there or over there. To be fully here now, not needing anything from the future. Not feeling any remorse, regret, resentment for the past. To be full. Paripurna is one of the Sanskrit ways of describing the enlightened one. Any enlightened one is to be completely full. Completely satisfied. Pure satisfaction itself. With the here and the now, to be present. So how do we become, what does this philosophy, what does this philosophical approach say about becoming more present? Well, first off, here's the good news. Presence. Being fully present, being full, completely full, this philosophy says is our natural state. It's like health. Health is our natural state. But it's the things that we do to ourselves or that happen to us that take us from that natural state of health and take us to a state of ill health, disease. Similarly, presence, the good news is our natural state. But what takes us out of being present? This philosophy articulates it simply, powerfully, but simply, it's desire. Desire is what takes us out of presence. You want to be more present? Eliminate desire. At least that's what this philosophy has said for thousands of years. The path to presence is through the elimination of desire. In other words, desire is the enemy of presence. Desire here It can be more fully articulated as selfish desire. Selfish desire. Wanting X, Y, or Z to happen in the future. Worrying that X, Y, or Z won't happen in the future. Wanting to cling on to, oh, I've got it so good, I hope nothing destroys this. Seeing 2 hummingbirds in the garden and loving it, and then quickly going to, oh, I hope the weather stays this good. Oh, I hate that this weather changes so often. Man, today's a good day. I wish the weather was always like taken completely out of perception of beauty. A presence with that beautiful moment taken right into agitation of, I hope the future can present me with all of these great moments that you are experiencing right now. Literally like ordering your favorite meal, having it delivered, and instead of rejoicing or being satisfied, worrying that you won't be able to get it again. That's what we do with all of our pleasant present moments. Yeah, this is good, but something might happen in the future that might change this. The enemy of presence is desire. So if you eliminate desire, you automatically, like eliminating disease, you become healthier. Eliminate desire, and like clockwork, you'll be more present in every experience. The hummingbirds, the catch with your kids, the work assignment, the conversation with the person at the corner store. Presence is our natural state. You become healthier to remove disease. When you remove disease, when you remove desire, you're more present. So how do you remove desire? Because this philosophy doesn't just stop there. It tells you the entire path to everything that we're pursuing, whether it's presence, whether it's peace, whether it's prosperity. And we've got episodes on all of those. But in the path towards presence, through an elimination of desire, what does this philosophy say is the path to eliminating desire? Knowledge of the self. Reflections like these. If you really want to go from kind of entertainment within these episodes in a podcast project like this, and you want to dive into the soup to nuts, systematic, beginning to end approach to knowledge of the self, read Vedanta Treatise. Sign up for the online lectures from the actual ashram itself that are all linked in the show notes in every episode. This is just the on-ramp to this philosophy and the on-ramp to reading a very simple read in Vedanta Treatise. Changed my life 10 years ago and went from going a mile wide, an inch deep, and to philosophies throughout the world and diving into Eastern philosophy to going a mile deep, thinking, all right, I just want to go for a month, maybe 2. I'm going to go a mile deep, an inch wide in this Advaita Vedanta stuff. And I'm still on that journey 10 years later. And whether it is these kinds of reflections, whether it is reading 2 to 3 pages of Vedanta Treatise a day, whether it is reading something like the Gita or another amazing introductory book to this philosophy is The Holocaust of Attachment, that you could read that in 2 hours. But any of these and all of these with reflection cultivate a knowledge of the self, capital S, self, of who we really are. And that knowledge, when you take up something higher like that, a pursuit of that type, pursuit of the higher, the lower falls away. Your desires for all of this noise in life just starts to fall away in the same way that a child, when they're gifted a bike, cares a whole lot less for the figurines or the dolls. You've got something higher, the lower just falls away. And knowledge of the self is the highest. When that pursuit takes hold, might not eliminate all of your desires, but as the Buddhists say, the 10,000 things become 1,000, then they become 100, then they become 10, 5, 3. You see them whittle down, and what happens beautifully, like quote unquote, cultivating health, which is our natural state. It's just a return back to presence. So, how to be present? Eliminate desire. How to eliminate desire? Pursue a knowledge of the self. Daily, 10, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour, ideally, before the sun comes up and the world brings us out of ourselves. That stillness, that beautiful stillness in the early morning hours. But in that pursuit, in that knowledge of the self, desires just fall away like the petals of a flower as the fruit grows. And as the orange flower petals fall away and the orange grows and takes its place, similarly, you just see this presence. As these desires fall away, the fruit of presence in every interaction grows and grows, ripens beautifully. And we start to associate more presence with more knowledge, more reflection. That is today's reflection on the Daily Vedantic. We'll see you next time.